Yo, what is up YouTube? Cruiser here. Welcome back to this dead-ass channel, bringing you another live play of 200 Rush&Cash. Haven't been uploading for quite some time. I've been more focusing on my own game, spending all my poker time in my play or my study. In the meantime, I also recorded some live plays for Carrot Corner. If you guys want to check that out, you can do that by going to Carrot Corner site. And yeah, let's jump straight into the live play. Okay, I'm going to be 3-betting this one. Here we can start with a small c-bet. We can also check. Let's start with the small c-bet against the unknown guy. Okay. Now, there's some ace-10 that we lose if we bet this hand. I think I'm just going to be checking this one. Right now versus a snap check. We can maybe exploitatively overbluff this spot, because I think he would bet a strong queen more often than not on the turn. He still loses a lot of combos, don't get me wrong, like 7-8 off and stuff. But his timing, yeah. His timing makes me think he's not gonna be bluff catching a 7 quite often or a jack quite often, right? But yeah, I haven't been uploading in a while. A few of you guys messaged me on Discord when I will release my new video. So yeah, I found time this morning to do it. So I hope you enjoy this one. Here against the reg, we're gonna be RNGing 3-bet, sorry 4-bet. We rolled it this time. All right, let's start with aces here, 3-betting, and this one also gonna 3-bet, suited low ace, ace-4, ace-5, good candidates, way better than ace-7, ace-8, ace-9. Like they have more equity, they can get a wheel draw, right, post flop, and having a 4, having a 5 together with your ace is really good unblocker. Like you don't block the out of folds from UTG, which will be something like 10-9 suited, Jack-9 suited, Jack-8 suited, King-8 suited, right? Okay, I'm gonna be folding here. That's a nice trick I learned when I studied the MTTs back in the day. Like this is what preflop is all about. It's about blocking continuing range and unblocking folding range, right? That's why these high card plus slow card are really good 3-bets. They make most money when UTG folds, right? All right. I'm gonna be 3-betting this one. I wanted to flat, but this guy is so short, so we don't really make any money by flatting. If he jams, we're obviously calling. This one against reg, we can flat, we can 3-bet. Let's go for a flat this time. Now I think I block bet and call a jam versus this guy. If this guy continues, I'm done with the hand. I think I want to bet way more. Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of queens, but he's also gonna have any pair, right? So we have to, let's run it once. This one, let's start with a 40%. On these slow boards, on ace high boards, people like, they usually think you want to go bigger, which is true on something like ace plus Broadway or ace 9x boards. But on these low boards, you actually want to bet, you want to use a smaller size, because you're also betting your 5x, your 3x, like you're denying equity from small blinds overcards, right? And that's the main reason why on low ace-high boards, you want to use a 40% instead of polarizing already and going for a bigger size. And I'm going to be flatting this one. I'm not sure about my flatting ranges, but can't be too bad, right? Oh, it was a 20 BB pot, so yeah, I think we flat even more then. This one against 2x is too weak to continue. But yeah, that 9's hand, I'm stacking off any pair against a guy with 20 BB on 1 SPR, right? Yes, he does have a lot of queen X, but he's also gonna have pocket 8s there, pocket 7s. Okay. This guy seems like a reg, so let's go for a 4 bet. I prefer 4 betting way more these offsuit hands on GG than calling them. I don't think they play that well. Post flop, like ace jack off, king queen off. On stars, I loved these hands, but here, nah. I think I 4 bet them way more. Okay. Queen Jack X starting with a range bet for small, cutoff versus BB. Could play bigger bets or check, but I think that's more designed on if there's a two-tone board, or if the third card is something like a 7 or something like that, where you can deny a lot of equity from gut shots. Here, 2.5x looks nice, kind of nice to defend, but 2 regs, you know, if there was a recreational, I would maybe call. Here, I'm just going to check down my hand. Okay. This one, we're going to roll call 4 bet. These are really tight positions, so this isn't a pure action. And now I'm going to be calling here. We lose to a jack a lot, but yeah, okay. Really important to note this. So we see a probe, block, river, bluff from a recreational, right? That's not really common. Okay, here, I'm not exactly sure from these positions called for what's my strat. Can I range c-bet this board? I would guess no. This guy is kind of tighter, so he's gonna, I guess, tell me what he has way more often. If he would have, like, he's gonna have some ace-queen suited, jack suited. I did go for a really small sizing pre-flop, so he's gonna have way more ace-x hands, yeah. Yeah, I would fold it. I think I fold this one. Maybe like calling pocket 10s is better here because they have more equity. But against look at me talking about range, but against a tighter guy, like I'm just gonna fold every pocket pair there, just call ace-x, right? For my defense, I don't think that's a range c-bet board. Like ace-high plus 2 middling cards. That's a general default on like single raise pot, 3-bet pot, 4-bet pots, that you never range c-bet those type of boards. Okay, really, really small 3-bets. I'm gonna be peeled in this one, even though I think ace queen off is mostly fold or 4-bet. But this is a really amazing price. This guy's a reg. Also a fellow YouTuber, Alan, if you're watching, hello. Yeah, starting with a call. This one again, 3-way offsuit hand, really, really, really good price, but both regs presumed. Like, I don't think we call these hands. Okay, really, really interesting. So he should be checking a lot on this turn. Broadway. I think I fold this one. Yeah, just because of the 9. If there was a break on the turn, I would continue. On a 9, you always have to be range aware. Like, what are the better calls here? So something like Queen Jack suited is better. Something like what was the board? I already forgot the board. Like Queen Jack suited, right? We have King Jack suited. We have even jacks and 10s probably have more equity. And my default is to overfold when people show aggression in a like pretty bad runouts by them for them. Sorry. Here against a guy that opening 2x, let's expand our 3-betting range. Okay, on these boards I usually play like b75 or check, because our main value hand here is going to be ace king, and then we're going to stack his ace queen. I think it works something like that. He's going to have a lot of ace x. This one is going to be a high frequency check, I believe. Maybe the strategy is different because we're 150 deep, but this would be my strat in 100 BB deep. Now once he checks again, I think we can delay as a 40% here, both exploitatively and theoretically. Maybe we can like go, if we have something like ace6 or ace queen that check back, maybe we can develop some bigger bets for that, but I think this is fine. Okay, so we face a check on the turn. Let's see how many tables this guy plays. I don't really know him. What's his name? Fish. Okay, one tabler. Can be checking now. Okay. Really, really good candidates to bluff theoretically. This is amazing. From a one tabler. Whereas you always want to turn turned pairs into bluffs, because that's going to be my most obvious top range value, right? In a lot of the spots. So I'm always going to be checking whatever is there, like pocket sixes if I have that, 10-6 suited, ace-6 off, right? And I'm always going to be calling that versus a raise. So really good candidate, but on the river, I don't think he can like bluff them all pure. On a good card for me, like I think I'm going to have more ace queen. Check back the flop, he checked back the turn, yeah, some king jack. Yeah, maybe he can jam that one. Okay, really nice board for me. Gonna develop some leads here. I'm gonna have two parents straight advantage. And this kind of okay to lead. Alright, so we're gonna note that guy, one tabler. BBB. Double check. Raise turn versus delay block. Turned pair, one and done. Okay. Queen jack off, all of the regs on the table. I don't think we make any money with this hand, barely, right? You always want to scam the table when you're opening. These mix hands. Okay, we can't do anything here. It's 10 off. It's gonna be an open. UTG, hijack, I think it's pure UTG, it's maybe a mix. But again, we have like regs, but these guys are like tagged as more passive, so I think it's fine, even though it's not hugely winning. Okay, nice board. We're gonna be using B40 here. Betting my hand pretty often with a low kicker because it needs more protection. If I had something like Queen 8, Jack 8, I would be checking way more. Here, I think it's also like a B40 spot with King X and two low cards, so I'm gonna go for that. Good turn for him. Should be the... okay, this is interesting. My 8 is really, really weak. Like one of the weakest trips I can have, but I still think I'm gonna be raising. Yeah, gonna be raising. Yeah, I'm gonna go for an overbet. I have ace of clubs. I can bluff rivers. Seems good. Here, why I was debating, do I want to raise this, is because people don't play proper donking ranges on the turn, so their donking range is way stronger in practice. I think if we check now, it looks nitty, but he needs to call 6x for our value bet to be good, right? He'll have some spade draws, he'll have maybe some ace, king, 4-5, sorry, if he's a recreational, maybe he calls that way more. So I'm gonna be checking this one. Okay, interesting. So he's not a fish, he's a kinda rig. So my bad for marking him as a fish there. I don't expect him to call a 6x for what it's worth. Like against a reg, especially, you know. He will understand that he donked and that I raised into a range that has a lot of trips. So most of people on the river, the calling range would only be a 8 there, right? And I lose to all the high rates. As I said, looks super nitty, but I think that's how plays out best in practice. We're actually also going to note that because that's also important, because a lot of people don't play a proper donking range on the turn. So let's note that. Right. A lot of 3 bets. Call 4 bets. Okay, calling here. Interesting one. If he would use like something like half pot or B33, I think I would always raise, because recreationals, when they use the sizing, it's like equal to their hand strength most of the time. So when he uses a bigger size, I would already fold. Now, my calling range is ace-x, my calling range is 4x, like pair with a gut shot. My calling range is 8-7 as well versus this size, because I can always improve. Like there's a lot of combos, 8-7 off. And with this one, I'm always going to be folding. Right? Because he used a bigger sizing. The flop makes me think he has a ace way more. Flat this one. This guy's an unknown, so I think I'm gonna flat. Pretty big size here. I think I'm gonna be overfolding. This guy's also tagged as a quite aggro guy, so my equity realization post flop will suffer with hands like these. So it's better to be way more passive. Here I can raise, I can call. I think I'm gonna be raising. My explanation is this guy's unknown, so once he checks, I don't know, does he understand that he needs to range check these boards? And if it's unknown, maybe he doesn't know that, so when he checks, makes me think he's way weaker. And this guy used a smaller size, which is correct 3-way. But also, does he understand that maybe, I don't know, have him tagged as unknown again, right? The yellow, white tag. Now I think I'm going to be using something like B50 here. What is B50? Something like this. With lower B50. Because we're saying we have a flush, we're saying we have pocket nines. Okay, interesting one. So let's see, William. Who are you, William? Oh man, my alphabet is so bad. What is the W in the... Oh, it's on the bottom, okay. Okay, one tabler, William. Against the reg, I'm checking this because the range is boats, mostly, right? Against one tabler, I'm gonna be jamming way more, especially having a 6 of diamonds. What does that mean? That means my opponent has way more middling flushes that can call. So good luck me. All right. He has boats. Okay, one tabler. Let me see that. One tabler, probe small, set on the turn, on the flop, 3-way, 1003 raise versus my raise. Okay. It's fair, he played his hand amazingly, but I didn't expect him to have sets in that line as much, right? Because most of them should raise the flop, especially 3-way. This one, King X. This guy stacked a bit sticky, so I'm gonna be checking my hand. Only betting like high equity stuff. Folding here. Might say it's too thin of a jam there, but you always have to adjust versus players, right? I don't know anything about him. He's a one-tabler, so what does this tells me? This tells me he maybe has a lot of flushes in that range. Maybe he has a lot of jack-X in that range, right? I never know would a guy call ace-jack there in that spot if he's a one-tabler, right? So I always want to jam, even though I lose two boats, right? And then it's all combinatorics, right? So he has jacks, he has nines, he has deuces. Then you count combos. So there's nines, deuces, 6, jack 9 suited, 8. 8 combos that beat me. And there's a lot of the lower flushes. There's a lot of the offsuit jack-X, right? We need to make sure that he has way more, like that he has more than 8 combos that we beat. And we need to be sure that he calls them. Right. Going for a 3-bet here. Which is fair assumption on this pool. I think people are calling hand strength a lot, way more. And not understanding that I rep boats for the most part in that line, right? Or not flushes that have a good second card, right? Like I said, if I had something like ace-10 there, ace-jack, I would never jam. Because there's way less flushes in his range that calls me, right? Queen Jack again. Regs unknown. So this time I'm gonna be opening Queen Jack. There's two people I don't know. There's a tighter guy on the button. For what it's worth, I'm really surprised the guy slow plays second set 3-way auto position once I raise, right? So what's my raising range there? It's flushes or deuces, right? And against that, you always want to charge. You always want to charge me with 3-betting the flop. You don't play range 3 ways. Like it's super obvious what I have. You don't need to be protected, you know. Just play face up straight way in 3-way spots. It's easier. It's more easier to play, you know. If he slow plays sets there maybe he can even jam a lead the rivers, you know. Because on that river I'm not jamming lower flush anymore, right? And those higher ace-X combos that I already talked about. So he only gets value from my ace-5, ace-4, ace-3, ace-deuce that I called pre-flop, right? My deuces as well, okay. He stacks my deuces, but he would probably stack my deuces on the flop as well. One tabler almost stacking deuces there because I think he might have jack 9 off, you know. Never know. Opening a bit wider here. This guy under 3 bets, so I'm gonna realize more equity with my hand. I'm gonna start with a small c-bet. If it was a rainbow board, maybe we can develop some bigger bets. Two-tone boards. I mostly play as a small c-bet because the main part of our range that wants to go for a bigger c-bet is strong 10x and overpairs. And if it's two-tone board, that means our hand is going to have less equity versus his calling range because more of his calls are going to contain flush draw, right? So that's why I will use smaller sizings on those boards. That's why solver uses small sizings. At least that's my understanding of the spot. Okay, here, this guy's passive. I don't think he will bluff enough. So I think I'm going to be always, even though my hand is pretty nice candidate for a bluff catch because he shouldn't be bluffing with a king. And I block his checkbacks, but I think against this specific guy, I'm going to be blocking because we can still get called by 6s, 5s, 4s. Deuce X, right? Okay. Right. Gonna go for a half pot here. Betting all pairs against recreationals who will maybe have too many ace highs in their range. Right. Here I could have done the same, but my hand has way too much it has way too much showdown value versus cutoff, so I'm not gonna be bluffing any two, sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at the stats of this guy that I noted before. It says that he calls insane gut shots on the turn. That makes me think he would call way more absolute hand strengths on the river, so I like my jam even more. Alright, if he had something like Queen 10 of diamonds in that spot, or Ace Jack. King Jack, all regs. Gonna be falling. Yeah, this guy's also aggro maniac guy, yellow tag. So I'm only gonna be opening like suited hands, pairs into that guy, probably. Here, yeah, 3 ways, 5 off. Pretty bad, even though we get good price. But the guys, I think this is the different spot than the earlier spots where I folded some hands like 9-8 off versus 2 regs. I think we can call that ace 5 off, but if the opener was like 100 BB, I would have called. You see how I'm trying to adjust against every spot that I think is correct. It might not be. I don't know the exact ranges, right? For every stack size, or like how big of an edge I have against a certain guy, or how big of an edge certain guy has against me. You saw me folding Queen 9 suited against 3-bet versus an aggro guy, which I'm not going to be ego battling. I know he's aggro. I don't want to call a bad hand like that. Okay, here I'm going to go for a call 4. Here you're going to use a small sizing from these positions. Something like this seems good. Okay, this guy call a 3-bet. Pretty bad board. I think I'm going to be always checking this one. This guy should connect a lot with this board. Okay. Starting with a c-bet here, 10-6 deuce. If it was something like 10-7, 10-8, maybe I would have a checking range. Yeah. Let's start with the c-bet. Here, I think I want to use a smaller size, but this guy's like a recreational, this guy reg. I think I'm going to use a bigger size. Try to stack a king, pretty much. I think I'm going to check in my combo here. Block some of his folds, like 6 that I beat, a6 of clubs. He's going to have some a6 of hearts. Yeah, don't think we can do anything here. I would be bluffing something like king queen, king jack, ace 5. All right then. What the hell? This is what I mean. That's why I go a bigger size, because these players don't understand their relative hand strength. Now this is really tough. Have a spade. Like the guy needs to. Paris. That is. Yeah, this guy seems kind of weaker. I think against the bit like a. Nah, like he needs to float king queen on the flop. Yeah. Close spot. because I can't fold every ace king, ace queen on this spot. I think spades are the best bluff catches. But against kind of straightforward guy, I know this guy like grinds leaderboards a lot. I played some hands against him. He seemed pretty straightforward so far. So against players like that, I would lean more towards fold. Let's know that guy. That this is absolute. This is horrible. Sorry if you're watching, but this is horrible. To call even king jack. I know this guy plays every day for millions of hands, and to play like this bad is pretty. I'm just gonna be calling here. Let me just note that. Huge pre-flop whale. And stack off any straight draw post 3-way. Okay, this is really important stuff because I don't think I'm gonna fold my hand because I still I can still rep something. Let's just call it first, then we can talk about it. I think it's pretty hard. Let's see what he has. Probably some value hand. Yeah. Okay. This is also noteworthy. Okay, let's note that. Double barrel pretty thin. Button versus BB. One stock pair pairs. Okay, so from my experience, one stop pair pairs, people are really scared to go for bluffs because they think I have a lot of trips in my range. So when people bet, I'm always overfolding. But in that specific spot, this night he went for a smaller size. What did he go for on the flop on the turn? Sorry. Yeah, half pot. Okay, half pot, right? There's still button versus BB widest ranges. There's still some bluffs available, right? It's hearts, diamonds. 6x, 10-9, right? I'm still going to be calling that. That's not going to be extreme overfold. But in general, you always want to overfold when the turn pairs and people are barreling into you, right? This one is kind of too thin, like obviously too thin turn bet. But now I have a note on him. Now every time when he double barrels, I'm going to destroy him with check raises, right? So it's, again, I gained some future EV from that hand. So I still like my call. To see what he had there. King 8. It's going to be a mixed spot. We have a recreational here. We have a short stacker there. So we're going to make money on that open. This is probably autopilot while I was talking open. We see a guy with 50 VVIP, right? Even though we're in position, like our hand is pretty shitty. Okay, I'm going to start with a bigger c-bet on this board. Something like b75 is good. Don't think we can overbet. Because he still has all the sets, 7s, deuces, 4s. Some 2 pairs as well. Okay, this one's going to be interesting. Because this is a high EV card for me. And I'm supposed to double barrel a lot, but this guy's tagged as a kind of stickier guy. So I think if I want to barrel him, I need to barrel turn in the river. Let's see. I still think I'm going to play my range. Even a sticky guy is going to have folds here. Something like ace-5, ace-3, right? Going for a b75. Out of the players... Okay, king here. Now I think I'm just going to be half-potting. Something like b60 half pot. Now we try to fold out 5, 6s, 7x. Yeah, seems like let's do some kind of value resizing, something like this. Okay. Yeah. I shouldn't bluff whales if I haven't tagged as a. I'm sorry. This is probably a decent call. I'm not calling it a whale, but I expect people to fold when the two cards. Even that's why I go for it. Even if I have a guy called as a station. Again, absolute hand strength over relative hand strength, right? So I would never bluff him on a bad run out, but on a good run out for me, I would always bluff him. Because even then I expect more fold equity. I think his call is pretty nice. Because I'm going to be barreling turn a lot. And then on the river, my range is probably king X with a heart. Right, so I'm not repping much. Maybe if I went half pot, he would have folded. Probably not. What was I saying about the turn double barrel? Yeah, once you go for a bigger sizing on the flop, and then overcard comes on the turn, you never want to overbet. I see this is a pretty big mistake. I see so many players do this. It's because you're trying to make stuff like ace-5 indifferent. You're trying to make 7x indifferent. You're trying to make a third pair indifferent, right? Pocket sixes there, right? If you overbet, they have easy folds with them, which is okay if you're using those with bluff. But I'm telling you, like, as a strategy default, right? I think it would be criminal for me not to bluff that run out, even against the sticky guy, right? Yes, he's tagged as a whaley guy, but run out matters, even against nits, even against whales. Okay, always going to be raising this one. If I had something like nines, I think I could maybe slow play it a bit. As a default rule, bottom sets are always raises, second sets, middle sets are mixes. Okay, going for a call 4 here. This sizing seems nice. Again, mean, because we're super polar. We don't need to risk as much. Making fold something like ace 10 suited, king jack suited, pocket nines. If he jams, we don't love it, but we have to call for the price. Don't love it from those positions, even though we have ace king suited, we beat ace king off. But those positions are pretty tight, right? I don't think he's supposed to jam ace king off even at pure frequency. Even queens probably not a jam here. So then it's more likely kings plus. Okay, unknown and a fish. Pretty good price. These are the hands I think I'm going to be calling. Even though they're so shitty, we're out of position, I still think we make some money if we get something like 10-9 X or like queen. Maybe 2 pairs, stuff like that. I think once we do hit, we make more money. Then we would lose if we just folded. Okay, 38 minutes. We can go for like something like 7 more minutes, so 45. That's going to be enough. Here again, same story. Bottom set is always a raise for me. Gonna go for a raise. King 7 up, pretty aggro guy here. I'm gonna go for a fold. There's a lot of range C betting on GG if you haven't noticed, which makes me slow play more. But I think I would slow play probably some weak queen X instead of raising it. You know, when I have top range, I always want to play for stacks. I always want to maximize when he does have a queen. I don't care if he has any 2. I want to maximize when he has a queen. Okay. Against the recreational 14 VPIP, decent candidate to raise, but against this guy, I think it's always going to be better as a call. We see top pair guys snap bets, right? Always getting out of there. I think in theory, he would continue ace queen there a lot. Without a heart, probably. 3-betting here. And, okay, so here, this is a nice example. We have 2 recreationals here. We have unknown opening. So what's the higher EV play here? Is it 3-bet to get to stack this guy if we hit a 5 or something, or is it maybe hit a 5 and stack 2 pairs of these guys or lower sets, you know? So I think calling is way better comparing those two options. So that's why I'm gonna always go for a call. Because I know there's 2 recreationals, but these guys are known. So if this guy was a whale or something, I would always like to 3-bet and play in position to him. But I don't know that. You know, always folding 4-way my hand. Let's see what develops here. Maybe we can get some notes for this guy. This is also interesting. We can note this. So 4-way doesn't range check 10-7-6. Right? Also important note. So this either means he's super strong, or it means the guy doesn't know what he's doing. And see, it is the other option. We can 3-bet or call this one, so we can mark that guy as a weaker player, you know, instantly. Okay, we see a range c-bet again. Button versus BB on a board, he should 4-bet or check mostly. Two-tone, right? Not a mistake to range c-bet, but yeah. Now we can go for a block. We block the check back range, which is going to be a jack. Ace-5, Ace-3. I think people don't reopen enough. I don't think they reopen enough, so we're going to go for a... We can even go for like a bigger size, maybe like something like half pot here. And not go for a block with the best jack. I think it's okay. This one unknown. I think I'm going to be checking this pretty shitty hand. No club. We'll have overcard for some visibility, right? Okay, now he checks back. We're going to be betting always here. I'm going to go for B75. And now B75 again, or something like half pot. Let's go for B75. Okay. I wanted to go exploitatively smaller. Because if he has a jack, if he has pocket tens that call pre-flop or whatever, I think he's gonna be folding. Even though those hands are really good calls because they block straights and 2 pairs. But again, we're talking about theme of this video is absolute hand strength, right? So if they have 3rd, 4th pair, they're more likely to fold. Here we're gonna go for a call 4-bet. For the 3 minutes, we have 2 more minutes. Let's try to win a stack here. Tank is always good. Ooh, mono board. There are some mono boards that you actually play B75, but I don't think this is one of them. So we're gonna start with a small c-bet. I think something like Ace-King X, Ace-Queen X are the boards where you c-bet B75 mono boards in 4-bet pots. Because you're already targeting the low pocket pair region with a spade on those boards. But here, there's still a lot of like 2 pairs. Like 6-5 has to call probably, and then bluff on spades, etc., etc. All right. Folding here. Let's finish this pocket 6's hand, and then we're folding here, and then we're out. Okay, we didn't hit a set, unfortunately. Just gonna be check folding. Yeah, 3-way, nothing we can do. Alright, so that was it for this Play and Explain, guys. I haven't uploaded in a while, as I said. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions if you have anything related to poker or this video. Tell me what you think about my exploitative shove with a 6 there. I think it's printing, probably, against unknowns. There's always possibility that he has both there, don't get me wrong, but I still think there's way more lower flushes and random trips in his range. Him being unknown, him being a one-tabler, always makes me want to thin value jam. Sometimes I value own myself in these spots, but in the long run, I think I make more money as a jam there. Tell me what you think about that hand. I'm really interested about your guys' opinions. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. See ya in the next one.